We live in a civilized world today. We like rules, we like regulations, we like a disciplined approach towards life because that makes the environment that we live in a lot more predictable, a lot more comfortable, and a lot more beautiful as well. We don't want to live in an environment where it is dangerous, where we know that someone will be attacking us or will be attacking someone. Even today, if we think that we want to punch someone, we don't do that no matter how much that person is triggering us to do. Because we know that there are repercussions of it. One, that we will internally feel guilty about it because hitting someone would make someone feel hurt and it would be painful. We don't want to have that feeling. We don't want to give that to someone else. And second is that we'll be behind bars because police will ensure that we have set with an outcome that no one else does the same thing. So there are certain things they said that are obvious in front of us and everything doesn't need to be documented for that matter. But for our ancestors, that was not really the case because if a tiger would be attacking at you, then you could either be in flight, fight or a freeze mode. In a flight mode, you can rarely outpace the tiger, even if you're Usain Bolt, because you cannot outrun the tiger for that matter because he's fast, unless the tiger is injured. Or you could be in a freeze mode, then you're for sure going to be breakfast, lunch or dinner for that tiger. Or you could fight that tiger and that is the best chance that you have for survival. So you see, fighting is not that bad. Even if it has a negative connotation today, fighting has been a survival mechanism for us. That is why we have gladiatory arenas in Rome, we have wrestling, we have boxing, and all in a ring, of course, in the Western countries. And then we have martial arts in Asia. And this is the benefit of living in a set of a disciplined society, because then you have channelized this energy inside us, which is, I would say, default to us as human beings, because we would not have survived today if we didn't have this fighting spirit inside us. And this fighting spirit, of course, can be inside, which is we want to live outside, or we have a professional setting where we can be in a KO or in a fighting mode in that ring with our opponent. And this is what video games have done. A few fighting games that come to mind are number one, Taken. That's my personal favorite. I've always played that game, and Guilty Gear for that matter. And then there is Street Fighter, which is the best of all. Now, why is Street Fighter everyone's favorite? Now, neither I'm going to push you to get the new SF6, Street Fighter 6, which has come out in 2023. What I'm really saying is that there have been 6 versions of the franchise so far, and it has survived over 35 years and has captured over $10 billion in revenue. And this has come from esports, from merch, from the game itself, from arcade, from many other more partnerships and collaborations that SF has done in this period of time. So look at this data now as well. EVO is a championship that happens every year. EVO, you can say, is kind of the Olympics equivalent for a fighting game. In 2023, when SF got launched, it captured over 440,000 peak concurrent views and had over 4 million total watched hours across different platforms like Kick, YouTube and Twitch. In 2024 as well, the peak concurrent views went over 400,000 and about 3.66 million total watched hours across different platforms. Even in 2025, it had over 8,500 participants, and almost 50% of the players signing up for EVO were signing up for Street Fighter. And this has been a common trend all through. So there must be something really strategically correct about Street Fighter that it has survived this long. And I would always emphasize this part about survival of a brand or a company for this long. It will only happen if the top part of the P&L statement is doing well. That means the total revenue. And total revenue, which is total sales, can only be going higher when marketing is going really well, where marketing is not seen as an expense but is seen as an investment. And clearly in Street Fighter's case, this has been true. But to understand Street Fighter really well, I will start with 2 characters that are in SF6, Ryu and Chun-Li. There are 26 characters in SF6 that you can play with, and I've chosen these because there is a specific reason for that. One, Ryu is kind of the understood protagonist of the game, while Chun-Li has a certain background that you will slowly get to know why I have introduced her in this discussion. Now, Ru's background is that he's Japanese. Ru travels the world training Ansatsuken. Ru's whole objective is to win himself internally, and his only scare is that he wins a particular match in the wrong way. So that is quite believable as a character if you see. Isn't Ru somewhere representing one of us or some part of us? We don't want to do the wrong thing, and Ru does that in the game. So the story of the characters in the game have such a phenomenal and believable background. Take Chun-Li's case for that matter. Now Chun-Li is Chinese. Her whole objective of being in the game, or in this context fighting, she's fighting not because she really wants to like Ru. Ru is fighting for his internal battle. He wants to win himself not externally but internally. But Chun-Li is fighting because her father was killed by the antagonist of the game, M. Bison. Now M. Bison's background is that he's really cruel. He believes in dictatorship. He's absolutely evil. And he appears in the game towards the end where you're fighting him the last. So Chun-Li's objective is external justice. She's fighting for her father. So if you look at these two characters, or even for that matter M. Bison, this gives the game a meaning that really transforms it to another level. And we want to believe in them because somewhere or the other, these are characters that are one of us. So all these 26 characters have something unique about them that lets us express ourselves truly in the game. So we can be Ru at one time, and we can be Chun-Li at one time, and we want to be M. Bison at one time. So all this realistic virtual scenario that Street Fighter has come up with has been exceptional about it. Now SF is a product of Capcom, which is the mother company that develops Street Fighter. Now to launch SF6, they use modern marketing. They use HTML5 for display ads, they used video ads, and they use programmatic advertising. Programmatic advertising allows you very specific targeted audience. The results speak volumes for that matter. The reason I brought this into discussion because they got 20% CVR, which is the conversion rate. They had 0.28 CTR. They had over 75% VCR and 0.01 CPCV. Altogether, all these data metrics have surpassed benchmarks by easily visible margins. Why has this happened? Because they understand marketing, that top line of the marketing P&L that I was talking about. Now, even if you look at from another perspective, they sold 3 million plus copies in just 7 months from the launch. And all this happened because of the initiatives that they did. One, obviously, the EVO exposure that they get, the advanced targeting capabilities that they utilize from programmatic advertising, and HTML5. So if you just thought it's just modern marketing, look at this collaboration. This is one of my favorites. KFC in Canada partnered with Capcom. The whole idea was to let users or the players of the game recreate Colonel Sanders. Now, SF6 has a feature in the game where you can customize the characters. That is the beauty of the game. Now, I'll come to this point in a bit later, but the reason I want to emphasize this point is that if in a game you are able to live out your dream player, what else are you really asking for? And in this case, a fighter. That fighter that I was talking about. So SF6 has two ways to look at it. One is that the game is for some competitive environment where you have esports and where people are casually gaming it as well, but they're serious about it. And the other layer is this expression layer. Now this is where this partnership sits. KFC with this initiative was able to increase its sales by 8% and captured $16 million worth of owned media. Now owned media of course is not the total revenue or the top line of the P&L that I was talking about before. It's just the adjusted and approximate amount that you would spend generally in the market to get that kind of attention. Now, what did SF6 got from this? More attention, more viewership, more cultural embellishment that users are looking for. So not users who are just using and playing the game, but also new audiences that have probably heard about SF6 but are not into the game yet. So you are able to acquire and connect with consumers who are existing users and also new users as well. So that is why I am emphasizing that Street Fighter, they understand what marketing is. And there are many more such partnerships that they have done. Now consider this iconic partnership. Pocky is a Japanese biscuit brand. It comes in a stick format. You have chocolate coated, and it's quite unusual and a kind of an experience of itself. But it's really popular amongst people of all ages. In 2019, they came out with Pocky KO Challenge. Now it's really interesting. In the game, you have the mechanic power bar at the top. Now once as a player, you have that power bar of yours resembling a Pocky stick. You can capture that, you can make a video of it, and you can be a part of the competition that says Pocky KO Challenge. For users of Pocky and SF, it's an amalgamation that is a dream come true because it is exciting, it makes the game a lot more entertaining, it makes the brand a lot more snackable. Then in 2022, they did something even more interesting. They partnered with SF not for SF5, which was the partnership in 2019 and 20. This partnership was for SF2. SF2 in the franchise history is the most iconic moment you can say, because the game introduced certain content and characters and mechanics in itself that made the game iconic. Now partnering for the SF2 is really bringing out that pop culture out, which is what Pocky is after, if you see. This brings me to the best marketing takeaways from Street Fighter. The first one is the marketing beat. Now, the first beat within the marketing beat is the launch beat. So whenever Street Fighter comes out with a new version, they ensure it has cinematic teasers, trailers, reviews, they are participating in championships. All these together ensure that their awareness is peaked, they have captured good attention of their prospective players, whether existing or new. The second is the competitive beat. So I've talked about EVO earlier. Besides for that, Capcom has its own Capcom Pro Tour. These together give annualized beats to Street Fighter, which as a marketing lesson is really important to learn. So marketing beat is not just like having one beat. You want to have smaller beats throughout the year. And this is what the launch beat and the competitive beat are able to do. The third one is the content beat. So they partner with the creators, with influencers. They ensure that the content is going in the right direction as reaching the right people as well. Within the content beat, they also ensure within the game, all the characters are not launched at one point of time. As an instance, in Street Fighter 6, they initially launched 18 characters, then they launched 4 characters, and then the following year, another 4 characters. So this keeps the excitement upbeat amongst audiences. People are looking forward to what else Street Fighter is going to do. The last one within this is the cultural beat. So they always ensure that they are localized and they are embellished into the cultural nuances of their markets, of their target audiences. As an instance, the KFC initiative with Colonel Sanders. The second one is becoming. With becoming, I mean is that whenever Street Fighter comes out, or even if this discussion that we're having, you know what you will become by using the product. This is what even tangible products that we have today have to learn from Street Fighter so well. As a digital product, you still know that with skills, with right training, you will become someone like Ru or Chun-Li at one point of time. Because the game has those upgrades and those skill sets, opportunities that you know that one point of time you could be a professional participating in EVO. Or even as a casual gamer as well, you will become better. So you know what your becoming is. The third one is onboarding. This is the simplest and the easiest that a lot of brands miss out. With onboarding, I mean to say with their new edition, with SF6, they have modern controls, they have World Tour inside. The opportunities that I shared with you with the Colonel Sanders customization as an instance. This instantly connect with beginners. They suddenly feel that they have an agency and they can be a part of the game. So these new users who would likely be intimidated or scared that they cannot do those difficult moves, modern controls within the game allows you to do that. So you see, Street Fighter is not just a game. Street Fighter is about discipline. It is about control. It is about identity. It is about that expression. It is about that competitive spirit that we as individual, as a player want to live out. It allows us an environment where we feel civilized in a controlled manner. We want to express that fighting spirit in us in a channelized way. And this is what Street Fighter does through its merch, through its new version, through its new updates. It is a marketing lesson that we should closely watch. I hope you enjoyed today's content and you have many more ideas to play around with. My name is Rachit Kapoor, and you've been listening to The Marketing Guy so far. Before I say KO or Howdoken, I think I'm going to practice that in Street Fighter 6. But any of that apart, I want you to take very good care of yourself. I will see you soon in the next episode.